So last night, Sophie Cunningham actually responded to, the Kiki Iriafen takedown. And in fairness, I will say, don't mind the response. And all I will say is it's going to be a fun couple of games. The Fever, when is the first time they play the Mystics? This is what you want to see. You want to see hype. And again, for all the people that'll be going at Kiki Iriafen, this is not the Sophie Cunningham is not the person to, defend as some angel. There are a lot of clips of crash out Sophie Cunningham. The amount of time she's grabbed people's legs, cheap shotted players. Yeah, Sophie Cunningham is one of the 5 dirtiest players in the WNBA, maybe in WNBA history. We can be honest here. But man, I'm looking forward to when is the first game? May the 29th. Or May the 28th. I am looking forward to that. But Sophie Cunningham responded right here with an Instagram story about it. And these two teams do not like each other. They do not like each other. And I know a lot of people, obviously, a lot of people are not fans of the Mystics and all of this, but do you guys not remember last year with Julie Van Loo getting so much in Caitlin Clark's face that Caitlin Clark ended up shoving her onto the ground? Caitlin Clark getting teed up out of frustration against this team. This team went out of their way against the Fever. But yeah, this was the response. I'm just a girl, but I only play WWE with my sister, so chill. And obviously while posting a clip of that. And people don't realize, I'm pretty sure Sophie Cunningham is a black belt in Taekwondo. It is a interesting one. I need to see this. I need to see this. How true is it? How true is it that Sophie Cunningham is a black belt in Taekwondo? Was that... I typed it in her Missouri... I typed it into Google, and her Missouri page comes up. Her Missouri page. Is this a thing? Where is the L? Pre-high school? I don't know. She earned a black belt in Taekwondo at 6 years old. You can earn a black belt at 6 years old? I mean... Fair enough. But yeah, Sophie Cunningham is... I would say Sophie Cunningham is not someone you'll mess with. Everyone messes with Sophie Cunningham. The amount of times, there are like 5-minute long compilations of Sophie Cunningham starting fights. Like, do we not remember what Sophie Cunningham did last year to Indiana? They literally, I'm not joking when I say this, she walked into an Indiana huddle, threw a blind elbow, and then walked out and got away with it. She threw a blind elbow, and all of a sudden, she got away with it. But all this is going to do, for me anyway, this response, everything, it's going to lead to a heated rivalry game. It's going to be leading to that on the 28th of May. We are still in the month of May. We get to watch these two teams go at it again. And I stand by this. This was absolutely not... this is not going to be the first time or last time Sophie Cunningham is going to get into some sort of a brawl next season. Sophie Cunningham is very rarely innocent in these scenarios. Very rarely innocent. And again, like, her response as well, like, on the day is a funny one as well. You gotta say the response on the day was pretty funny.
What did it mean to have to want to step up for you in that moment like that?
Man, I'm not surprised. Actually, DB was my vet when I got drafted out to Phoenix. And so I know she's not a fighter, but she's not scared to get with it a little bit. And kind of random thrown to the ground. Maybe I need to hit the weight room. That was not good look. But she had my back, and I think that's what it's all about, right? I think we have a huge target on our backs. I don't think that's a secret. And so making sure that our locker room's like this, and that'll naturally flow onto the court. And I think you guys saw that today.
And yeah, you can see that she's... Look, so the more people are trying to fight Sophie Cunningham, the better Sophie Cunningham is going to play. And You can tell with everything on social media. Like, people are saying almost she was more Rodman, like instigator, than she is like enforcer. That's fine. That's absolutely fine if she is an instigator. Because, heck, if Sophie Cunningham just ends up being the villain of the Fever, I think she's the damn villain for the entire WNBA, the old WNBA fan base with some of the stuff they said about her. I think she's probably thinking, you know what, let's get the heat off our number 22. When these other teams last year, when they were trying to punk Caitlin, you know what, let's piss off these players enough that instead of them trying to go off Caitlin, get her off her game, they go for me. Like, and that's one of the things with Sophie Cunningham, with those type of players, that people don't realize just how important that they are, and just how big they can be for a team. And you can see again in the response, like, she's posting the video. If she didn't want to smoke, she would not be posting anything. She would have just ignored it. And you better believe when these two teams play on the 28th of May, it's going to be heated, and it's going to be an awful, awful lot of fun. Because these teams played last year. And the best thing is again, the old Caitlin crew being like, they know the Mystics would have locked down Caitlin, which is why they rested her for that game. And it's like, last season, Caitlin Clark not only had 30 points against the Mystics once, but they had, in the third time she played the Mystics, she set the all-time record for points generated in a game. And she had 29 points and 14 assists, but she set the all-time record for points generated in a game, and then only to break that herself like a week later. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for this season, and I am a huge, huge fan of Sophie Cunningham. I have to say, I am a massive, massive fan of Sophie Cunningham. Like, I think that the team needs players like this. I think you need that level of toughness that they did not have last year, and I think when it comes to, like, just when it comes to that, last year they didn't have it. Obviously, you got a tough coach as well, but you've got a player who you kind of want a player like that in your team, because you want a player on your team that other players hate playing against, and there's no way the teams like playing against Sophie Cunningham. And again, when it comes to Sophie Cunningham getting hit, taking cheap shots, I mean this when I say this. I don't actually think she did anything to Kiki Iriafen, but there are a lot of times. Like, again, you can watch the full compilations of Sophie Cunningham, like, tripping people up, Sophie Cunningham grabbing people's legs. Last year, even against the Fever, Sophie Cunningham threw a blind elbow towards the Fever. Like, towards the Fever huddle. She is very rarely innocent in these situations, but the fact is that she wants to smoke. And I want as many players possible on the team that want to smoke, so that they go for them rather than Caitlin Clark. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.